So in Illinois, a congressional candidate who is running for office, is now facing indictment charges. We all know that there are protesters who are standing up against ICE. I agree with everyone's First Amendment, but Department of Justice indicted congressional candidate Kat Abguzela over ICE protests. So let's go ahead and talk about what is happening here. Let's go ahead and pull this video. Let's go ahead and pull up this article up here for everybody to see firsthand. Oh, by the way, its skeleton is now covered up. So what's happening here? A special federal grand jury has indicted Democratic congressional candidate Kat Abguzela alongside other protesters who allegedly blocked videos outside a federal immigration facility in Broadview, Illinois. We all know that right now Operation Midway Blitz is still going, and there is no Halloween truce right now happening, as Governor J.B. Pritzker has requested the Department of Homeland Security and ICE to halt the raids, at least for this Halloween. I'll be talking about that in a later segment, so be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe so you're notified when we upload that video, because YouTube is acting weird, and it is acting weird. The indictment, which was filed October 23rd, alleges that Abguzela physically hindered and impeded an agent who was forced to drive at an extremely slow rate of speed to avoid injuring any of the conspirators. Abguzela was charged alongside 5 other people, including 2 other political candidates. She faces 1 count of conspiracy with 1 charge alleging she forcibly impeded, intimidated, and interfered with an officer. The indictment alleges that the group conspired with one another and others known and unknown to prevent by force, intimidation, and threat Agent A United States law enforcement officer, from discharging the duties of his office, and to injure him in his person or property on account of his lawful discharge of the duties of his office and while engaged in the lawful discharge thereof, and to injure his property so as to interrupt, hinder, and impede him in the discharge of his official duties. The defendants were not arrested but were notified of the indictment and will self-surrender next Wednesday, according to a court filing. U.S. District Judge April M. Perry, a Biden appointee, is assigned to the case. So we will see. Kat Abguzela is a social media star and former journalist, is running for congressional Illinois' 9th congressional district, currently held by retiring Democrat Jan Sarowski. She has been vocally critical of the Trump administration's immigration policy. So this is a statement. There's 2 videos here, actually, I want to share with all of you. There's actually 2 videos. One in which she shares her statement. So I want to pull up this video here of her statement.
My name is Kat Abguzela.
I apologize, I got her name wrong.
Running for Congress in the 9th District of Illinois. And the Department of Justice is charging 6 people, including myself, with federal crimes for exercising our First Amendment rights near ICE's Broadview Processing Center. This is a political prosecution and a gross attempt to silence dissent, a right protected under the First Amendment. This case is a major push by the Trump administration to criminalize protest and punish anyone who speaks out against them. That's why...
See, now, absolutus. Get up, go see the White House counselor, okay? Let's get Kit and Kat so they can be Kit Kat. I don't think so. No. Get up, go see the White House counselor. Tell her what you just said. See, I knew it. See, I knew in the back of my head someone was going to say it. I had my money pinned on Bad Cookies, or Dr. Nick, or maybe Mastermind. You surprised me. You surprised me indeed.
I'm going to fight these unjust charges, but I need your help to do it. As I and others have exercised our First Amendment rights, ICE has hit, dragged, thrown, shot with pepper balls, and tear gassed hundreds of protesters, simply because we had the gall to say that masked men coming into our communities, abducting our neighbors, and terrorizing us cannot be our new normal. And because Chicago doesn't back down from bullies in masks who tear gas our neighborhoods, this administration has resorted to weaponizing the federal justice system to scare us into silence. But we're not going to be silent. The Trump administration wants you to be afraid of speaking out against it and its anti-democratic power grabs. And there are plenty of reasons to be afraid right now, but we have to overcome that fear. This case targets our rights to protest, speak freely, and associate with anyone who disagrees with the government. And while we have seen the unhinged and unlawful tactics this administration has used against the American public, it's important to remember they're doing this because they are scared. They are wrong. And they know they are on the...
Now, here's the thing. I have... All right. I understand. I get it. You know, people protesting, upset with ICE. I get it. But I have to repeat myself. I'm sorry. I'm going to do this. I warned that something like this was going to happen. All right. And it was dismissed when I asked whether Chicago had what it takes to be a sanctuary city. When Hardlands media asked this question, we were laughed at, we were mocked at, we were told that we were racist, we were told that all this stuff, okay? That there was a plan. Don't worry about it. Oh, how dare you question it? Well, actually, I do have to question it because this city right now is $1.1 billion in the hole. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. My city is severely suffering. We have a lack of leadership. We have a track record of corruption. Nothing I'm saying should surprise anyone. So when you bring in all these people, and again, when the Florida and Texas governors were bringing in all the migrants to these sanctuary cities, not only just Chicago, but the other ones, I mean, now you have the burden of taking care of other people. And as Jamal Green, who was a guest on the show, pointed out when I did a special live stream with Jamal Green and Nick Thompson, hey, this city put all the migrants on the southwest side neighborhoods, predominantly low-income, struggling neighborhoods. This city is already hyper-segregated. It's not just segregated, all right? Step aside, Jim Crow. Chicago is hyper-segregated. It's just not north and south side, but within the north and south sides, too. There was no way that there was not going to be a powder keg situation that was not going to explode. You had people, longtime residents, yelling and causing a ruckus in City Hall, something that's never been seen before. Mayor Brandon Johnson, not Mayor 6.6%, but Mayor 5%. That's his approval rating. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. So all of this here, I get it, the protesting. But the thing is, what I warned about was that there was a very good chance potentially that Trump could get reelected. And guess what? I was right. And you don't hear me saying, ha, ha, ha. No, I'm like, oh, okay, guess what? The city's not ready for it. And Trump's going to bring in ICE. He did it in February earlier this year. What he's doing now is nothing new. There was never a plan. And a lot of people were brought here under the pretense that everything was going to be A-okay, all right, don't worry about it. When I think a lot of people have forgotten the status and the situations for a lot of these shelters. Some of them not humane. And guess what? Jamal Green brought that up. He brought that up. I'm going to bring up the same story again, where a migrant shelter was going to be built on a south side neighborhood, and the residents were upset for two reasons. Number one, no one told them about that it was going to be constructed there. And number two, they were protesting it because, my God, you don't want people living there. That's a Superfund site. People will get sick. Men, women, children, the young, the old. So I get it. However, Kat didn't do herself any favors because she was on another show, and she rage quit. She rage quit. You don't have to believe me.
But it is surreal to be the person on the indictment, especially because my name is really long.
What do you think about those charges, though? They seem really serious. Conspiracy to impede or injure an ICE officer, assaulting or impeding that officer. Those are pretty big charges.
The charges, I think they're actually like slightly different, but no matter what the charges are in the indictment, I plan on pleading not guilty. And this is a political prosecution, plain and simple. It's an effort to criminalize free speech, an effort to criminalize free association, and an effort to criminalize the very act of protest. And so we're going to be pleading not guilty, and the evidence will come out in court, and I fully plan on winning.
Yeah, just to be clear,
that's not, look. It's not really a sound strategy, especially if you're going to court. See, it's just not. It falls into, that's a no bueno.
The indictment alleges that you and others, quote, surrounded a federal officer's vehicle, banged on its hood and windows, etched pig on the side, and impeded movement. Did you etch the word pig on the side of an officer's car?
I'm not speaking to the specifics of anything that's in the indictment right now, but like I said, I do plan on pleading not guilty, and the evidence will come out in court, and I plan on winning.
Okay. Well, let's watch the video of what happened that day that they are alleged.
I don't know. Like, look, I'm just giving an opinion here. She doesn't look too happy about that because, once it's on the social medias, it's there forever.
But when you see that, what do you think right now?
Tara, once again, this is my first time being federally indicted. Like I said,
Yeah.
I plan on pleading not guilty. The evidence will come out in court, and I plan on winning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Now, this has never happened to me. But I Tara, she handled it well. I don't think she knew that Cat quit. Hey, listen. A true Kit Kat never quits. Never quit. There you go. So look, right after the video's played.
See that, what do you think right now?
Tara, once again, this is my first time being federally indicted. Like I said,
Yeah.
I plan on pleading not guilty. The evidence will come out in court, and I plan on winning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
You left. Why'd you run?
Just really quickly, I did want to ask you about just the fact that conspiracy to impede an officer is up to 6 years in prison, forcibly impeding and intimidating an officer is up to 8 years. Is that that could actually hinder your ability to serve in Congress? Are you concerned about that?
I wonder did anyone, if she's doing it by herself, I understand. See, this is why you have to have a second or third monitor there just in case. Be like, oh, what? Like, this is how I know this is pure gold, because the reaction is just, I'm sorry. I'm rewinding again. I'm not going to pause. I'm sorry. Watch again.
But when you see that, what do you think right now?
Tara, once again, this is my first time being federally indicted. Like I said,
Yeah.
I plan on pleading not guilty. The evidence will come out in court, and I plan on winning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Just really quickly, I did want to ask you about just the fact that conspiracy to impede an officer is up to 6 years in prison, forcibly impeding and intimidating an officer is up to 8 years. Is that that could actually hinder your ability to serve in Congress? Are you concerned about that? Did she just sign off? Did she just leave the chat? I'm so confused. I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened. Okay. Well, she left because I asked her questions about what happened that day. All right. Well, I will continue with the conversation on my own, I guess. This is very bizarre. Yeah. So I guess this is, I've never had that happen before. Apologies.
Hey. Listen, it is not a sound stratagem to run away. All right. You got to face it. One step at a time. Look, hey. And I know people have asked me, well, gee, Kit, will you ever run for office? Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you ever put that evil on me. But if you're running as a congressional candidate, look, first of all, I get it. You want to be with the crowd. You want to be with the people. But see, the thing is, emotions run high. And if you think there aren't any consequences or repercussions, because here's the thing, ICE is only getting started here. And everyone's thinking the National Guard will not show up in Chicago. Oh, I can guarantee you this. It's going to happen, all right? War zone Chicago is going to be a thing. And if it's not going to be a war zone in the streets, politically in 2027, it will be cutthroat. It's going to make the midterm election cycle and the previous city election cycles from 2019 and 2023 look like a walk in the park. It is going to be an explosive toe-to-toe slug match. And right now is not the time for gimmicks or, doing a glorified parade. What is happening here in Chicago right now is the failure of the last 8 years. Now, we called it out. We said, hey, is there a plan to take care of the migrants? There was no plan. Hey, breaking news. There was no plan to take care of the migrants. There is no plan to take care of the long-term residents here in Chicago. Chicago is $1.1 billion in the hole. We don't have leadership. sad history of corruption. ICE is in the city. And of course, there is now the potential, and dare I say it, 50-50 chance of the National Guard coming here. And I think it's going to happen. It will probably happen. It's going to probably happen. Let's be real here. There was a lot of arrogance from the vote blue, no matter who crowd that thought that 2024 was going to go to Biden and then by proxy, Kamala. Brilliant job. No one had the foresight to see it. But if you are running for Congress, you don't run. You stand. And obviously, look, listen, I don't want anyone to be indicted. I don't want anyone to go to jail. I don't want, listen, the whole process is insane enough as it is. Trust me on it, folks. It really is. It's one of those things you just don't want to be part of. But yet, here we are, and here we go. So all the best to Kat, but being part of those protests is not a sound strategy. What is the policies? Okay, you got to go out there and be talking about the policies, because as I said before on many other podcasts and shows, especially in 2024, this midterm election cycle that's coming up, with the government shutdown, SNAP benefits being denied and other benefits being denied, and people struggling to make ends meet, the 2026 midterm election cycle will not be about feelings or social identity. It's going to be about the economy. All right? I'm going to rip that Band-Aid off. Happy Halloween. It's about the money, the dollars, the moolah, the cash. Can people survive? Not about feelings. And when it comes down to it, especially from what we've seen with recent actions in the city, this city is divided. There are people who definitely want Chicago to be a sanctuary city, and then there's another good portion and a half that do not want this to be a sanctuary city. There was no plan. There was no consideration of actions and consequences and how things would play out. But yet here we are. And Chicago will be a war zone. Not in the actual sense, then it will actually be one in the political sense. Things are changing in this city, and what we need now are people who will stand, especially when it comes down to being criticized, but at the same time, too, actually care about the city.